15 lions who messed with the wrong opponent. The king of the jungle doesn't always come out victorious. Get ready to hear real, surprising stories of lions who challenged the wrong adversary and paid dearly for it. From encounters with furious buffalo to relentless elephants, each confrontation reveals the limit of courage and recklessness of Africa's most feared predator. But before we begin, subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Now, let's get started. Number 15. Lion versus Rhinoceros. The lion, the king of the savannas, a mass of muscle, mane, and natural authority. Every step he takes seems heavy enough to make the ground pay respect. He is a predator who rules not only by strength, but by confidence. One roar is enough to echo for kilometers, announcing, "The owner has arrived." With jaws that can crush bone, reflexes that would make an Olympic athlete look slow, and a predatory instinct refined over millions of years, the lion is the very definition of power in motion. He is the strategist, the pack hunter, the commander of the African plains. But then comes the rhinoceros, not with cunning, but with sheer presence. A living wall, with skin that looks more like medieval armor, and a horn worthy of being displayed in a war museum. 2,000 kilograms of concentrated force in a body that doesn't know the verb to back down. The rhinoceros does not need to roar. He does not threaten. He warns, and when he charges, the ground trembles. A single thrust can topple trees and flip safari jeeps. His muscles aren't defined like a predator's, but they're hard as rock. Nature built him to withstand, not to flee. In terms of combat, the lion would have speed, technique, and hunting instinct. He would know where to strike, test the opponent's limits, and try to exploit weaknesses. But against a 2-ton walking fortress, that plan collapses quickly. The rhino's thick hide is practically immune to shallow bites, and the horn is a one-way ticket to the hospital for anyone who dares come too close. The rhinoceros, on the other hand, has a weakness: lack of agility and vision. He's a tank with limited traction. If the lion were patient, very patient, he might be able to tire him out, but that would require time, terrain, and a generous dose of luck. In a straight-up clash, no tricks, no ambush tactics. It's like putting a boxer against a truck. One may have technique, but the other is pure impact. So let's be honest, the winner would be the rhinoceros, not by intelligence nor by malice, but by pure, brutal, relentless force. The lion is king, yes, but that throne is made for the savanna, not for a battlefield against a 2-ton titan. And now you there, reader, still think the lion is the king of everything? Think twice before underestimating an animal that can turn any king into savanna dust with a single charge. But of course, if you had to bet, you'd still pick the lion, right? After all, who can resist the charm of a mane blowing in the wind? Number 14, lion versus elephant. The savanna sun cracks the ground into golden dust. On one side, the king, the lion. Thick fur, the look of someone who knows his own power. On the other, the titan, the elephant. A living monument of muscle and ivory. Two icons of nature separated by hundreds of kilos and an abyss of strength, but united by the same instinct to dominate. The lion is pure strategy. He doesn't trust luck, he trusts movement. Every step is silent, every glance is calculation. His body is a hunting machine tuned by generations of predators. He can leap over 10 meters, run near 80 km/h in short bursts, and bring down zebras, buffalo, and even giraffes, all with coordination, precision, and fangs that tear like blades. But alone, he rarely faces the impossible. The lion is king because of social intelligence, not brute force. He commands group hunts. He knows the value of strategy. But here, he stands alone before a colossus. The elephant, in turn, is the personification of the earth's strength. Over 6 tons of muscle and bone that seem like steel. His tusks can pierce a trunk, his trunk can lift half a car, and his skin, up to 2.5 centimeter thick, is a natural wall. Despite his size, he's not slow. An enraged elephant can reach 40 km/h, and when he advances, the ground shakes as if the planet itself were angry. The trunk is both weapon and shield, whip and spear. A single well-placed blow can send a lion flying meters away, and the worst? He doesn't need a second attack. Now imagine the encounter. The lion circles, trying to find a gap. The elephant flaps his ears, warning, "Do not come." The roar explodes across the savanna, but the giant answers with a bellow that sounds like thunder. The lion advances, tries to distract, but the elephant doesn't play the speed game. He imposes the presence game. One step forward and the Colossus' shadow covers the predator. The feline leaps, but the trunk intercepts him mid-air. One clean blow, final. In nature, sometimes royalty must bow to the empire of mass. Winner, the elephant. No suspense, no surprise. Pure biological logic. Strength wins over ferocity. Size dominates technique. The lion is king, yes, but the elephant is an ancient god, carrying centuries of respect among the animals of the savannah. And you there, reader, if you were in the savannah, who would you root for? For the lion's audacity, the fearless strategist, or for the elephant's serenity, the giant that doesn't need to prove anything? Choose wisely, because on the savannah, even the king thinks twice before challenging a god. Number 13, lion versus African buffalo. Imagine the African sun at the height of midday, scorching the golden savanna. The wind lifts dust, the air vibrates with tension. On one side, the lion, the pure personification of wild royalty. On the other, the African buffalo, a living wall with saber-shaped horns and the temperament of a bad-tempered tank. The lion is the desert strategist. He doesn't fight on impulse. He plans, surrounds, and attacks with surgical precision. His muscles are a manual of predatory efficiency. The claws can tear hide like wet paper, and the bite, capable of breaking antelope bones, is his final signature. A precise strike to the neck, and the savannah falls silent. But the buffalo? The buffalo is another story. He is nature's tank. He weighs nearly a ton, runs at 50 km weight, and isn't afraid of the king. His horns, as hard as steel, have sent many lions to the jungle hospital, or straight to the beyond. Unlike most prey, the buffalo doesn't flee. He confronts. When cornered, he charges with the force of an uncontrolled truck, lifting the enemy like a rag doll. And when the herd decides to unite, even the bravest felines think twice. The duel is brutal and balanced. The lion has tactics, speed, and sharp teeth, but the buffalo has sheer mass, endurance, and fury. The former bets on precision, the latter on brute force. One miscalculated strike and the king of the jungle becomes dust under hooves. One mistake by the buffalo and the feline finishes the job with his jaws. And in the end, who wins? In nature, the balance leans toward the African buffalo. He isn't king by title, but by respect. His strength and courage make even the lion hesitate before attacking. Many lions only win when they are in a group. Alone, they rarely survive. So next time someone says the lion is the king of the savannah, look closely at the buffalo. He doesn't wear a crown, but he carries a shield of muscle and a look that says, "Come if you're man enough." And you, viewer, who would you side with? The golden strategist or the horned colossus? Just don't try to find out in person, because in this clash, curiosity can get trampled. Number 12, lion versus hippopotamus. The African sun beats down on the open field. The air hums with heat, and there they are. Two titans of the continent. On one side, the lion, the self-proclaimed king of the savannah. Sculpted muscles, golden mane trembling like fire. A born hunter, a machine of precision and instinct. On the other, the hippopotamus, the river's tank. Calm, apparently peaceful, until someone has the unfortunate idea to provoke him. The lion lives off speed, strategy, the right strike. He can weigh up to 250 kilograms and reach 80 km/h in a sprint. His claws are razor sharp, and his bite over 650 psi can snap a zebra's neck in seconds. He is the strategist. He waits, watches, chooses the perfect moment. When he attacks, it's like thunder, quick, brutal, without hesitation. But the hippopotamus is another story. Weighing up to 3 tons, he is basically a tank of flesh and bone. His jaws, when opened, reveal half-meter tusks and a biting force exceeding 1800 psi, triple that of a lion. He doesn't run, he does. And fast, up to 40 km/h, enough to crush anything that dares cross his path. While the lion roars, the hippo simply looks. Neither fear nor haste, just boredom. The lion tries a circle, maybe a bluff, a test of courage, but there's no opening. The hippo pivots and, with a simple move, raises mud and intimidation. A deep, muffled roar comes from his throat, a sound that seems to come from the very depths of the river. The self-proclaimed king feels something he doesn't usually feel: hesitation. In direct combat, it's unfair. The lion depends on agility, but where would he bite? The hippo's hide is thick, tough, almost impenetrable. The lion would need an entire group, and even then, it would be suicide. The hippo doesn't need tactics. He is the tactic. A single bite with those jaws and the king becomes a reminder that crowns mean nothing when the enemy weighs 3 tons. Point to the hippo: strength, endurance, defense. He wins in all. The lion has instinct, claw, and majesty, but the hippo is pure brutality and density. In nature, he doesn't need titles. He is the emperor of the river and the nightmare of the banks. And you there, viewer, thought the lion was invincible, didn't you? Well, nature loves to humble egos, even the felines. So next time someone calls you king of the jungle, remember, there's always a hippo nearby, just waiting for someone to roar too loudly. Winner: the hippopotamus by technical knockout without even leaving the water. Number 11, lion versus brown bear. The sun rises over the savanna and the ground seems to tremble. On one side, the king, the lion. Golden fur, steady gaze, muscles tense under heat that glitters like a living crown. On the other, coming from cold forests and mountains, the brown bear, a colossus of fur and brute strength, carrying in his body the memory of long winters and fierce battles. It is the clash between royalty and titan. The lion is the definition of precision. A social hunter, he knows how to work with strategy and energy economy. A sure leap, a bite to the throat, and the fight ends before it begins. He can reach speeds of up to 80 km/h in short bursts, and each claw is a living blade nearly 4 centimeters long. The jaw, while not the strongest in the animal kingdom, is guided by instinct and experience. He knows where to hit, when to hit, and above all, why to hit. His strength lies in agility, reading the enemy, and mastering his own savagery. But the brown bear is another story. If the lion is king, the bear is the emperor of chaos. Weighing easily 400 kilograms, he's a tank of muscle covered by an armor of fat and fur. His front paws are hammers with claws exceeding 10 centimeters. And the bite, that's the real sentence, over 200 psi of pure destruction. A single blow from the bear can flip a rock, strip bark from a tree, and break bones like twigs. He doesn't need tactics, he is the tactic. The lion relies on the explosion, the bear on endurance. The lion fights for territory, the bear for survival. The first is majesty, the second raw primal instinct. In a one-on-one fight, without allies, without retreat, and without maneuver, the wild math favors the bear. He is bigger, heavier, and more durable. The lion may roar first, but the bear would roar last. In the end, the brown bear takes the crown of brute force. But hold on, before you proclaim the end of the lion's reign, remember, the bear may win the fight, but the lion keeps winning in stories. He reigns in the savannas, in crests, in fables, and even in the hearts of those who admire him. And you there, reader, which side are you on? Will you cheer for the bear's unconditional power or for the lion's sharpened royalty? Think carefully, because in the jungle of imagination, the true winner is the one who survives the roar and the blow. Number 10, lion versus polar bear. Lion versus polar bear, the clash of titans. On one side, the king of the savanna, the lion, a universal symbol of power, dominance, and confidence. On the other, the polar bear, the white monster of the Arctic, shaped by extreme cold, constant hunger, and endless battles fought across ice. Two completely different worlds, two forces of nature ready to face off on neutral ground, where sun meets snow. The lion is pure instinct and strategy. It's not just muscle, it's tactics, teamwork, coordinated hunting. But here, he stands alone, and when alone, the true predator within is revealed. Weighing around 250 kilograms, the lion is compact, explosive, and its roar can be heard over 8 kilometers away. Its claws curve like blades, and its bite, at 650 psi, can crush thick bones and tear flesh like paper. He's the lightning strike, fast, precise, and deadly. But the polar bear is a different kind of beast. It's nature's tank, weighing between 450 and 700 kilograms, with muscles wrapped under a 10-centimeter layer of fat. It's built to endure cold, pain, hunger, and enemies alike. Its bite exceeds 1,200 psi, and its 10-centimeter claws are like icy daggers. It's not as fast as the lion, but when it moves, the ground seems to tremble. It hunts seals, drags walruses, and faces the Arctic with the calm confidence of a champion born from survival. And the most impressive thing? It's intelligent. It watches, waits, and only strikes when certain. If the lion is the gladiator of sunlit arenas, the polar bear is the northern warrior. You're cold, calculating, and nearly unstoppable. The lion relies on bursts of energy and timing, the bear on endurance and brutality. One wins in seconds, the other destroys in minutes. In a direct fight, with no environmental advantage, the polar bear would prevail. It has more weight, more strength, and its thick hide serves as a natural armor. The lion could strike quickly, aiming for the neck, but one mistake would be fatal. One swipe from the bear could break ribs, crush a skull, and change the course of the battle. Thus, the king of the savanna faces the king of the ice, and the cold defeats the fire. The polar bear is stronger, but hold on. Before you shout bear wins, think again. Strength isn't everything. The lion remains the symbol of dominance, courage, and wild spirit, and enough to make even the coldest bear hesitate. So tell me, if you had to bet, would you trust the Arctic's white muscle or the golden soul of the savanna? Choose wisely, because the lion might be listening. Number 9. Lion versus Nile crocodile. The African sun scorches the land. Dry grass crackles beneath the paws of the king, the lion, its golden mane blazing like liquid fire. At the river's edge, everything changes. The wind dies, and the water's surface, calm and glassy, hides something ancient, colder, and infinitely patient. The Nile crocodile. On one side, brute strength and feline majesty. On the other, living armor and the most feared jaws in Africa. The lion is pure explosion, muscle, instinct, and courage compressed into a single roar. Its claws can tear through hide. Its bite delivers nearly 700 pounds of pressure, and its mind is tactical, trained in the art of group ambush. But the crocodile doesn't hunt in groups. It waits, and when it attacks, it does so with the force of a prehistoric nightmare. Over 3,700 pounds of bite pressure, enough to split a buffalo in half. The lion rules the land. The crocodile rules the water. The lion strikes fast and clean, leaping, spinning, biting with surgical precision. The crocodile is patience embodied. In water, it becomes invisible, just 2 eyes above the surface, watching, calculating. When it attacks, the scene lasts less than a second, an explosion of water, teeth, and chaos. On dry land, the lion holds the advantage. The crocodile is slower, less agile, and awkward out of water, but just a few steps toward the river and the roles reverse. In the water, the crocodile reigns supreme. One bite, one spin, the infamous death roll, and the fight ends with bones cracking under impossible pressure. The lion may be the king of the land, but the crocodile is the dictator of the river. Both are monsters of power, each a ruler in their own domain. On land, the lion wins. In water, the crocodile commands. But if we must choose the stronger in pure combat, no mercy, no terrain. The throne belongs to the Nile crocodile, because when the ground turns to mud, brute force defeats bravery. So tell me, whose side are you on? The golden-maned king or the swamp dragon? Choose carefully. One misstep and the winner might be waiting just below the surface. Number 8. Lion versus anaconda. The lion, the king of the savanna, the universal emblem of power and dominance, a creature of strength and authority, built from centuries of natural supremacy. Its body is a masterpiece of raw power. Every leap, every roar declares sovereignty. A grown male can exceed 200 kilograms, driven by piston-like legs and claws that slice through hide and flesh with ease. Its bite, around 650 psi, can crush the bones of antelopes and buffalo alike. But power isn't only physical. The lion is a strategist, patient, calculating, and efficient. A predator that balances precision and ferocity. Now, shift the stage. From the dry plains to the humid shadows of the Amazon rainforest, here reigns another monarch. Silent, patient, and almost mythical, the anaconda, queen of the rivers. She doesn't roar, she waits. Stretching over 8 meters and weighing more than 200 kilograms, she's a living coil of muscle and patience. When she strikes, it's an explosion of motion, and in her constriction, exerting more than 90 psi per square inch is like steel rings closing until everything goes still. The lion has claws and teeth. The anaconda has silence and strategy. The lion runs, the anaconda waits. fates. One is explosion, the other suffocation. In the savanna, the lion rules without question. The snake would be slow, exposed, out of her element. But in the murky rivers of the Amazon, the crown shifts. The lion would lose speed and control, while the serpent becomes an unseen nightmare. When it comes to lethal efficiency, the anaconda holds the edge. Not because she's fiercer, but because she's inevitable. When she strikes, there's no noise, no struggle, no escape, only the muffled silence of the jungle. But hold on, the lion isn't humiliated. He's still king, just not of this realm. The Amazon has its own royalty, and she doesn't need a mane to command respect. So which would you rather be? The roar that rules the air or the silence that rules the waters? Number 7, lion versus Siberian tiger. The lion enters first, majestic, golden, mane flowing like it commands the very wind. The king of the savanna doesn't need to prove anything, his presence is enough. But today's arena isn't the African plain. Opposite him stands the giant of the frost, the Siberian tiger. Thick fur, amber eyes, and muscles forged in ice. If the lion is king, the tiger is the emperor. The lion fights with courage and teamwork. He's used to defending his pride, his territory, his throne. The tiger fights alone, a solitary assassin molded by survival and silence. In raw strength, the tiger dominates. It can weigh over 300 kilograms, armed with claws that cut like razors and a bite strong enough to shatter bone. The lion, around 200 kilograms, may be smaller, but he's hardened by constant battle. The lion is a tank, built from a lifetime of conflict. The tiger is a scalpel, precise, deadly, and efficient. In a real fight, nature and science agree. The Siberian tiger usually wins. Bigger, stronger, and more explosive, it's better adapted to one-on-one combat. It's not a massacre, just a subtle, decisive edge. The tiger claims victory. So viewer, do you still think the king of the jungle keeps his crown, or does it belong to the shadowy emperor of Siberia? Careful, say that out loud near a lion, and he might want to prove you wrong. Number 6, lion versus gorilla. Lion versus gorilla, the force of the jungle versus the king of the savanna. On one side, the roar that echoes for miles, symbol of power and dominion. On the other, the punch of living iron, the muscle of the rainforest. Two giants, each master of their world, one of the golden plains, the other of the green shadows. The lion is the embodiment of predatory efficiency, built for attack, with muscles focused in its forelimbs, claws that tear, and teeth that pierce bone. Weighing around 190 kilograms and boasting a 650 psi bite, it's a four-legged tank. The gorilla, though not a predator, is almost unfairly strong. A silverback can weigh over 220 kilograms and lift more than 10 times its body weight. Its arms are pillars of power, and one strike could shatter thick wood. It doesn't hunt, it defends, and when it does, it becomes a storm of raw might. The lion has speed and killing instinct. The gorilla has endurance and explosive power. One fights to survive, the other to dominate. Face to face with no terrain advantage, the lion holds a slight edge. Its claws, teeth, and reflexes make it naturally deadlier. The gorilla, for all its strength, isn't designed to kill large animals. It's a defender, not a hunter, and that difference decides the fight. The lion keeps his crown, but think about it. The gorilla never wanted to be king, and maybe that's why he truly is one. He rules through respect, not blood. The lion, on the other hand, must earn his title daily, through battle and scars. So tell me, what's stronger, the power that destroys or the power that protects? Number 5, lion versus orca. In the sea, lion versus orca, the roar against the song of the ocean. The king of the savanna meets the queen of the seas. The lion, master of golden plains, faces the orca, sovereign of the deep waters. Two alpha predators, each shaped by a completely different realm, now meeting hypothetically in the orca's territory, the ocean. Under the African sun, the lion is pure terrestrial power, defined muscles, a bite exceeding 650 psi, claws sharp as daggers, and a roar that echoes up to 8 kilometers. He is the supreme feline strategist, capable of taking down buffaloes weighing over half a ton. His instinct thrives on cooperation, group hunts, tactical coordination, precise attacks. On land, he is a throne in flesh and bone. But in the sea, the king drowns in his lost kingdom. A body made to run, leap, and bite was not designed to float. Every movement becomes a burden, every attempt at a roar swallowed by bubbles. The mane that commands respect becomes an anchor. The ocean is a different battlefield, and here, the orca makes the rules. The orca is no fish. It's a mammal with elite-level intelligence. Social complexity, communication, and group tactics rival those of any army. An adult orca can exceed 8 meters in length and weigh 6 tons. Its bite? Strong enough to crush seal bones and tear apart great white sharks. And worse, it plays with its prey. The orca is a cold strategist, an engineer of the abyss. While the lion is pure land instinct, the orca is aquatic calculation. It doesn't hunt merely for hunger, it hunts for dominance. Observing, testing, surrounding, and executing. In water, its agility is a spectacle of physics in motion, accelerating, diving, and surfacing like a silent missile. By the time the lion comprehends where the ground is, the orca has already transformed its surroundings into a liquid trap. In numbers, the imbalance is brutal. A 250-kilogram lion versus a marine colossus 20 times its size. Orca swimming speed, over 50 km/h, lion, 10 seconds of endurance before the body succumbs to density and fear. No claws work, no teeth reach. The ocean is the board, and the lion has no pieces. But on land, the script flips. Out of water, the orca is just a giant, unarmed. Its power becomes dead weight. The lion becomes predator once again, and the sea queen turns into a breathless giant. Nature shows that every throne has its territory. Winner, the orca. Not by cruelty, but by environment. In the ocean, it is absolute power, strength, brain, and complete control of the battlefield. The lion may be king, but the ocean is not his kingdom. And now I ask you, if you, curious viewer, had to choose a throne, the savannas or the oceans, which would it be? What impresses more, the roar that dominates the land, or the lethal silence ruling the depths? Number 4, lion versus king cobra. Lion versus King Cobra, the throne of the jungle versus the king of snakes. Under the blazing sun of the savannah, two kings face off. On one side, the lion, sovereign of the plains, mane blazing like fire in the wind. On the other, the king cobra, silent ruler of the shadows, its sinuous body and venom capable of killing an elephant. It's the duel between brute force and lethal precision. The lion is pure power, nearly 200 kilograms of muscle, jaws that can crush bone, claws that tear through buffalo hide as if it were paper. Its advantage lies in impact. A single swipe of its paw can break a spine. It hunts in groups, but alone it is still a biological tank. Reflexes sharp, roar not just intimidation, a declaration of dominance. In combat, the lion relies on aggression, presence, and sheer size. A gladiator of nature. The king cobra is the absolute opposite. Stealth, calculation, cold efficiency. It doesn't need muscle. Neurotoxins paralyze the nervous system in minutes. Up to 5 meters long, it can raise itself almost to a man's chest, swaying like a living spear. Its bite is not just an attack, it's a sentence. Calm and deliberate, the cobra waits, measures, studies. One error from the opponent and venom is injected, the fate sealed. Yet there's a problem for the scaled queen. The lion is too fast and too tough. Its thick hide is natural armor. Its size makes hitting a vital vein before crushing nearly impossible. The venom is devastating, yes, and it's slow to act, and the lion gives no time. In direct confrontation, the cobra's chance of escape is minimal. One precise leap, one swipe, and the game is over. In combat instinct, the lion is designed to kill prey larger and more dangerous than a snake. The king cobra specializes in other snakes. In the wild, it would avoid a large feline, not from cowardice, but wisdom. It hunts for efficiency, not bravery. Winner, the lion. Strength, speed, and resilience place it far above the cobra on the food chain. The king cobra is lethal, but only if allowed to strike first, which a lion would never permit. Now tell me, nature observer, who is more dangerous? The king who rules by force or the one who rules by fear? If these two truly met, who would you bet on? Think carefully, because even a king can fall, but never without roaring first. Number 3, lion versus giant warthog. The African sun boils the air, distorting the horizon as if the desert itself were breathing. On one side, the lion, the very definition of majesty and power. On the other, the giant warthog, brutish, muscular, built to challenge any predator daring to cross its path. It's the encounter between lethal elegance and pure savagery. The lion, weighing around 250 kilograms of muscle, is the ultimate strategist of the savannah. Its strength is not merely physical, it's psychological. It intimidates before even attacking. Teeth 7 centimeters long pierce hide and bone as if melting butter. Its paws, equipped with retractable claws, are multifunctional weapons. Slash, hold, dominate. And the roar? Thunder that travels up to 8 kilometers, capable of making entire herds flee at the sound. The giant warthog is no easy prey, and never has been. A war machine of nature, it can reach up to 180 kilograms of sheer stubbornness. Its body is compact, armored with thick skin and stiff bristles that absorb impacts. Its face is a bony fortress, and its curved tusks, sharp as sabers, can rip open an opponent's flank in an instant. It doesn't back down, it charges. The warthog fights like someone with nothing to lose, and that's what makes it dangerous. While the lion is the king of tactics, the warthog is the champion of endurance. The feline attacks with surgical precision, targeting the throat, the vital point. The warthog counters with chaotic power, a force capable of toppling even large predators. Its bite, though not as lethal as the lion's, is quick and destructive. The momentum of its body is a moving battering ram. Now imagine the clash. The lion trying to immobilize, the warthog spinning, striking, resisting. The lion relies on technique. The warthog relies on pain it can endure. In the end, it's a matter of stamina. Who gives up first? Here, versatility becomes decisive. The lion is a predator by nature, born to win, and does so with near mathematical efficiency. It reads the opponent, waits for the right moment, strikes where it hurts most. The warthog, on the other hand, symbolizes sheer persistence. It can injure, surprise, but its repertoire is limited. No matter how impressive the giant warthog, the lion has the advantage. Its combination of strength, technique, and instinct places it at the top. The lion knows how to kill, and when. The warthog is brave, yes, but the lion is the very definition of dominance. Winner, lion. The king of the savanna remains on the throne. Now tell me, spectator, would you bet against the king? Watch out. The warthog may fight with heart, but the lion fights with history. In the wild, courage without strategy is just a beautiful way to lose. Number 2, lion versus moose. Lion versus moose. The clash between the Savannah King and the Forest Titan. On one side, the king of the savannah, muscles of steel, a mane that seems to crown arrogance itself, golden predator eyes. The lion is not just strength, it's presence. When it walks, the ground seems to acknowledge its status. Every muscle works in harmony for the same purpose. Domination. Born to hunt, instinct runs through its veins. Leaps over 10 meters, jaws capable of crushing bones with nearly 700 psi pressure. It's the complete package. Strength, speed, and a confidence bordering on arrogance. On the other side, the moose, the silent giant of the northern forests. A colossus weighing up to 700 kilograms with antlers that look like war antennas, stretching up to 2 meters wide. What the lion has in majesty, the moose compensates with sheer imposing size. It may seem like a peaceful herbivore, but underestimating a moose is the first mistake, and usually the last. When provoked, it becomes a living wall, charging with the force of an avalanche and the weight of a small truck. The lion relies on coordinated attacks, feline agility, and surgical precision. The moose relies on brute force and resilience. One is the perfect hunter, the other, the ultimate survivor. One was born to bring down prey in open terrain, the other to face wolves, bears, and the harsh winter, and walk away standing. In a hypothetical confrontation, nature is the fairest judge. On open, dry savanna land, the lion would have the advantage. Agility, tactics, experience, and cooperative hunting. In the cold, muddy forests of the north, the moose would turn the king into a mere subject. A single strike of those antlers, and any predator would think twice before insisting. But looking at the balance of strength, weight, and offensive capacity, the fact is indisputable. The moose is simply too massive. Even an adult lion would struggle to bring down such a titan alone. A precise leap could injure, yes, but not stop the colossus. The lion would need help, and something the wild doesn't provide. Winner, moose. Sheer scale and brute structure take the throne. And now, the question remains, if you were placed in front of these two titans, the golden hunter or the snowbound colossus, which side would you choose? The lethal charisma of the lion or the unyielding power of the moose? Think carefully, because in either case, running won't help. Number 1, lion versus pygmy hippopotamus. Lion versus pygmy hippo, the king of the savannah against the mini tank. The lion is the king of the savannah, a symbol of raw strength and group dominance. With jaws capable of over 400 kilograms of pressure, retractable claws, razor sharp, and reflexes worthy of an elite athlete, it's the complete package: strength, strategy, and instinct. The roar, a sonic signature echoing for miles, announcing power. The pygmy hippopotamus, small only in name, is a walking fortress, weighing over 250 kilograms with skin thick as tank armor and teeth capable of slicing like blades. It appears calm but is territorial, unpredictable, and extremely resilient. Its compact muscle mass and streamlined body for swampy environments make it a miniature amphibious tank. In a confrontation, the lion has the advantage in speed, technique, and attack. The pygmy hippo excels in resistance, defense, and pure obstinacy. Overall, the lion comes out stronger, the planet's most complete predator. Winner, lion. The ultimate predator remains supreme. Now, which side would you choose? The roar that commands respect, or the tank that no one expected to fear? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed our content, make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Check out other exciting content appearing on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.